Mahākāla. Mahākāla is a deity common to Hinduism and Buddhism. In Buddhism, Mahākāla is regarded as a Dharmapala, protector of the Dharma, and a wrathful manifestation of a Buddha, while in Hinduism, Mahākāla is a fierce manifestation of the Hindu god Shiva and the consort of the goddess Mahākāli. He most prominently appears in the Kalikula sect of Shaktism. Mahākāla appears as a protector deity in the various traditions of Vajrayana Buddhism, like Chinese esoteric Buddhism, Shingon, and Tibetan Buddhism. He is known as Dahishin and Dehakten in Mandarin and Cantonese, Dehokshin in Korean, Daihok Tien in Vietnamese, and Dekukten in Japanese. Etymology. Mahākāla is a Sanskrit Bahuvrihi of Maha, great, and Kala, time, death, which means beyond time or death. Tibetan. Nakpu Chen Pu means great black one. Tibetan. Ganpu, protector, is also used to refer specifically to Mahākāla. Description. According to Shaktisamgama Tantra, the spouse of Mahākāli is extremely frightening. Mahākāla has 4 arms, 3 eyes, and is of the brilliance of 10 million black fires of disillusion. Dwells in the midst of 8 cremation grounds, Smasana. He is adorned with 8 human skulls, seated on 5 corpses, holds a trident, trisula, a drum, a sword, and a scythe in his hands. He is adorned with ashes from the cremation ground and surrounded by numbers of loudly shrieking vultures and jackals. At his side is his consort, symbolized as Kali. Both Mahākāla and Kali represent the ultimate destructive power of Brahman, and they are not bounded by any rules or regulations. They have the power to dissolve even time and space into themselves, and exist as the void at the dissolution of the universe. They are responsible for the dissolution of the universe at the end of each kalpa. They are also responsible for annihilating great evils and great demons when other gods, devas, and even trimurtis fail to do so. Mahākāla and Kali annihilate men, women, children, animals, the world, and the entire universe without mercy because they are Kala, or time, in the personified form. And time is not bound by anything. And time does not show mercy, nor does it wait for anything or anyone. In some parts of Odisha, Jharkhand, and Duars, that is in eastern Bengal, wild elephants are worshipped as manifestations of Mahākāla. Mahākāla is typically depicted blue or black in color. Just as all colors are absorbed and dissolved into black, all names and forms are said to melt into those of Mahākāla, symbolizing his all-embracing, comprehensive nature. Black can also represent the total absence of color, and again in this case it signifies the nature of Mahākāla as ultimate or absolute reality. This principle is known in Sanskrit as nirguna, beyond all quality and form, and it is typified by both interpretations. In Hinduism, Mahākāla is also known as Mahākāla Bhairava in Hinduism, and many temples in India and Nepal are dedicated solely for Mahākāla Bhairava. For example, at the temple in Ujjain, which is mentioned more than once by Kalidasa, the primary temple, place of worship for Mahākāla, is Ujjain. Mahākāla is also a name of one of Shiva's principal attendants, along with Nandi, Shiva's mount, and so is often represented outside the main doorway of early Hindu temples. In Buddhism, numerous traditions of Mahayana Buddhism rely on Mahākāla as guardian deity, Dharmapala, Dharma protector. Mahākāla is one of the most popular protector deities in Tibetan Buddhism, and he is also sometimes used as a meditational deity, Yidam, in Tantric Buddhist yogas. He is depicted in a number of variations, each with distinctly different qualities and aspects. He is generally depicted as a wrathful deity. Mahākāla is commonly regarded as the emanation of different beings in different cases, such as Havajra, Vajradhara, Amitabha, and Avalokiteshvara, or Akshobhya Buddha. Different tantric cycles like Guhya Samaja and Chakra Samavara Each contain Mahākāla as an emanation of their central Buddha deity. Mahākāla is almost always depicted with a crown of 5 skulls, which represent the transmutation of the 5 klesas, negative afflictions, into the 5 wisdoms. The most notable variation in Mahākāla's manifestations and depictions is in the number of arms, but other details can vary as well. For instance, in some cases there are Mahākālas in white with multiple heads, without genitalia, standing on varying numbers of various things, holding various implements, with alternative adornments, and so on. Tibetan Buddhism depictions. 2 armed forms. The 2-armed black-cloaked Mahākāla is a protector of the Karma Kagyu school clad in the cloak of a Mantrika warlock. His imagery derives from Terma of the Nyingma school and was adopted by the Karma Kagyu during the time of Karma Pakshi, the second Karmapa Lama. He is often depicted with his consort Rangjung Galmo. He is often thought to be the primary protector, but he is in fact the main protector of the Karmapas specifically. 4-armed Mahākāla is technically the primary protector. 6-armed Mahākāla is also a common Dharmapala in the Kagyu school. Panjaranatha Mahākāla, Lord of the Tent, an emanation of Manjushri, is a protector of the Sakya school. 4-armed forms. There are various 4-armed Mahākālas. Mugen Pu Pya Bzipa, the great black Vajra lord with 4 hands. One popular depiction comes from the Arya lineage of Guya Samaja. These are the primary protectors of the Karma Kagyu, Drekung Kagyu, Drukpu lineage, and the Nyingma of Tibetan Buddhism. A 4-armed Mahākāla is also found in the Nyingma school, although the primary protector of the Doshchen teachings is Ekajati. 6-armed forms. Ningshuk came from Kingpu Nenjor, the founder of the Shangpa Kagyu, and spread to all the lineages, Sakya, Nyingma, and Gelug, and to the Kagyu lineages. There are also Terma lineages of various forms of 6-armed Mahākāla. Ningshuk, though derived from the Sangpa, is not the major Shangpa one. It is in a dancing posture rather than upright, and is a very advanced Mahākāla practice. The white 6-armed Mahākāla, Sad Buja Sita Mahākāla, Mung Pu Yidbzin Nurbu, is a popular among Mongolian Gelugpas. Other forms. Mahākāla in the form of a Brahmin, a red Mahākāla. In China, Mahākāla is mentioned in many Chinese Buddhist texts, although iconographic depictions of him in China were rare during the Tang and Song periods. The deity's name was both transcribed into Chinese characters and translated as Great Black Diva, with Kala being understood to mean black. He eventually became the center of a flourishing cult after the 9th century in the kingdoms of Nanzhao and Dali, and what is now the province of Yunnan, a region bordering Tibet, where his cult was also widespread. Due to Tibetan influence, his importance further increased during the Mongol-led Yun dynasty, with his likeness being displayed in the imperial palace and in Buddhist temples inside and outside the capital. Mahākāla remains a central figure in the minority Buddhist tradition of Azalism. In some texts, Mahākāla is described as a fearsome god, a demon who steals the vital essence of people and who feeds on flesh and blood, though he is also said to only devour those who committed sins against the 3 jewels of Buddhism. One story found in the Tang-era monk Yijing's commentary on the Mahavairākona Tantra portrays Mahākāla as a manifestation of the Buddha Vairākana, who subjugated the Dakinis, a race of flesh-eating female demons, by swallowing them. Mahākāla released them on the condition that they no longer kill humans, decreeing that they could only eat the heart, believed to contain the vital essence of humans, known as human yellow, of those who were near death. A tale found in Amagavaraja's translation of the Humane King Sutra relates how a heterodox, non-Buddhist master instructed Prince Kalmasapada to offer the heads of 1,000 kings to Mahākāla, the great black god of the graveyard, if he wished to ascend the throne of his kingdom. As time went by, Mahākāla also became seen as a guardian of Buddhist monasteries, especially its kitchens. The monk Yijing, who traveled to Srivajaha and India during the late 7th century claimed that images of Mahākāla were to be found in the kitchens and porches of Indian Buddhist monasteries, before which offerings of food were made. There is likewise in great monasteries in India, at the side of a pillar in the kitchen or before the porch, a figure of a deity carved in wood, 2 or 3 feet high, holding a golden bag and seated on a small chair, with one foot hanging down towards the ground, being always wiped with oil. Its countenance is blackened, and the deity is called Mahākāla, or the great black deity. The ancient tradition asserts that he belongs to the beings in heaven of the great god, or Mahasraha. He naturally loves the 3 jewels and protects the 5 assemblies from misfortune. Those who offer prayers to him have their desires fulfilled. At mealtimes, those who serve in the kitchen offer light and incense and arrange all kinds of prepared food before the deity. In China, the image of that deity has often been found in the districts of Qingnan, though not in Haipu. Those who ask him for a boon find their wishes fulfilled. The efficacy of that deity is undeniable. In China, the god was also associated with fertility and sexuality during the Zishi festival, the double 7th festival held on the 7th day of the 7th month of the Chinese calendar. Married women traditionally bought dolls or figurines called mohelu or moholo, the term probably deriving from Mahākāla, in the hopes of giving birth to a child. Ritual texts also prescribe the worship of Mahākāla to women looking for a male partner or to pregnant women. In addition, he is also commonly invoked as a protective deity in certain mantras, such as the Surangama mantra and the Maha Maruhi Vidarajni Dharani, contained in the Maha Maruhi Vidyarajni Sutra, which are popular in Chan Buddhism tradition. In Japan, Mahākāla enjoys an exalted position as a household deity in Japan, as he is one of the 7 lucky gods in Japanese folklore. The Japanese also use the symbol of Mahākāla as a monogram. The traditional pilgrims climbing the holy Mount Antak wear tanugi on white Japanese scarves with the Sanskrit seed syllable of Mahākāla. In Japan, this deity is variously considered to be the god of wealth or of the household, particularly the kitchen. He is recognized by his wide face, smile, and a flat black hat, in stark contrast to the fierce imagery portrayed in Tibetan Buddhism art. He is often portrayed holding a golden mallet, otherwise known as a magic money mallet, and is seen seated on bales of rice with mice nearby. Mice signify plentiful food. In Sikhism, Mahākal is used to refer to God. In the text Dasam Granth, which is attributed to Guru Gobind Singh, Mahākal is applied as a name of God to emphasize his supremacy over all beings. In the section titled Bhakatar Natak, it states that in a previous incarnation, the author was a sadhu meditating in the Himalayan foothills on Mahākal before being called to take birth as Guru Gobind Singh. Further verses that praise Mahākal, verse 434 of the 26 Avatar section states, I will not first honor Ganesha, nor do I ever meditate upon Krishna or Vishnu. I have heard of but do not recognize them. I am absorbed in contemplation at his feet. Mahākal is my protector.